So today, there's two things need to happen. One is I'm going to move this rhubarb because of the second thing I need to do today, which is I've got these two copper poles in the ground. There's another one up here, and I need to attach this board here to run across the top there, so as I can create a hanging garden in between the space. A hanging garden, by a hanging garden I mean I want to grow cucumbers up a rope, I want to grow rock melons up a rope, and I've got two varieties of tomatoes I want to grow up a rope. So I've seen these American videos where they have the hothouses with using rope for as a way of trellising tomatoes, but I've also seen other videos where they've got cucumbers and other climbing type plants growing up ropes, and I want to give it a go myself. So the first thing I need to do, I'll have to take all the big leaves off of this. I'm a little bit late getting to this because it's early October. I could have done it any time over the last 3 months, but I've actually been waiting for this little GoPro camera that I'm using in my hand now, so as I can do more handheld stuff, because that rhubarb there has to come down here. A little patch I've got where that drum is, that used to be iris in there that never flowered, possibly because it's a bit shady, I'm not sure, but anyhow, they came up. I've dumped 2 buckets of compost into this bit of soil and a bag of aged cow manure. I will put 2 more buckets of compost in here before I plant my rhubarb, and I'll also add some pelletized composted chicken manure as well. Not a hard job to do. The rhubarb, like I said, I'll have to take all the leaves off, or as many leaves as possible off, so it looks like I'm having apple and rhubarb crumble for the next couple of months. And I'll just run around the outside with the spade down to spade depth, lift it up, and I'll probably bring it down here and divide it into 3 or 4 clumps, but we'll get to that in the video that will follow this little introduction, which probably rambled on a bit long. But anyway, that's what's happening today. And the first job is the rhubarb. The second job is to get, I'm not looking forward to get that piece of timber that I showed you before up onto the top of those posts. It's going to be a bit of an adventure, but anyhow, we'll get to it. Right, I'll set the camera up and we will dig out some rhubarb. Okay, just had a friendly chat with a neighbour, but first things first, I've got to get these leaves off of this rhubarb, and it's pretty simple. It's a kind of a pull down and a twist at the same time, and they come off. Prefer to do it that way because it takes the whole stem off right at the base of the tree, whereas if you just cut it off, you leave this part behind, and that can go rotten, and that rot can go back into the stem, and you can lose your whole rhubarb. So if you just pull towards yourself, give it a little twist, they generally come off. The fresher leaf, the younger leaves are going to be harder, but the older leaves come off quite easy. If you've got a good apple and rhubarb crumble recipe, I'd be very interested if you wanted to share it. The only downside with doing this, or transplanting the rhubarb from here to there, is that I won't be able to harvest the leaves off it for 12 months because I'll need it to reset the root system and build up its strength again, so as when I do harvest the leaves, it can keep coming away and growing. Sometimes if you harvest the leaves too early on, or within the year, and the bush can exhaust itself and just die, so it's best to leave them for at least 12 months after transplanting. Same goes when you buy I don't know how to explain it, fresh rhubarb to plant. You need to leave it 12 months or so. The other thing is, most of you, I'm sure you all know, is that you can't eat the leaves. I'll make you really crook, but you can put them in your compost, and that's where all that'll go. All right, I'll just drag this bit of mulch back out of the way. I'll grab the spade. So all I'm going to do is about the width of the spade, which should be about 5-6 inches away from the stems. So that should still give me plenty of root system. Try and get down the full depth of your spade. Just go right around the outside first. I'm in a bit of strife here because I'm hard up against the fence. I just have to do the best I can. All right, now we can get right under and gently prise it out. So there's one lot that's broken in half. Second lot, might be a bit hard for you to see in the camera, but I can see a bit of a dividing line there, and I'm just going to run my spade straight through it, and that will give me my 3 clumps that I can plant down there. Whew. Which I'll do now. Just following the instructions on the back of the pack. Works out a couple of handfuls per square metre of the pelletised chicken manure will be enough. 3 for good luck. There we go. And 2 buckets of compost here. And I'll just lightly fork that through the surface because it's already been really well dug the first time around. I'm in the shade now. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning, but from about midday onwards right through till late evening we will have full sun, which will be more than enough for the rhubarb to grow well. Oh, look at that, yummo. All right, we'll go get said rhubarb. Now, the one thing you want to try and do at this stage is to leave as much soil as possible on the roots, just to help to reduce the amount of shock from obviously being dug up out of the ground and transplanted. So that's one. The other thing you want to do is try and match the original soil height that you once had. You don't want to go above that or below that. And that's one. I might dig the hole first. I'll put this one diagonally at the back and then the other one up here, just to give them enough room to grow. There we go. I should be able to pop him straight in the ground there. Raring to go, look at that. Lucky last. This one is, I think, is the biggest of the three, so I'll make it a decent size hole here for it to grow in. Right. Geez, you get a workout in this gardening caper. Look at that. Lovely. Oh, all right. Nothing left to do now. I'll give that a really good water in. Keep the water up to them over the next week or two. I'll probably right through summer now because one thing rhubarb does like it's a good water to be kept moist. My soil's fairly well drained, so it doesn't really matter how much I water. I'll have to get those rhubarb leaves, tidy them up and get them inside in the crisper so as they don't go to waste. And I think that's it, the job done. Not much else I can tell you about transplanting and dividing rhubarb. Cheers, and thanks for watching. I'll go catch my breath. Still going. Hoo-hoo-hoo. How good's that?